One of two things before we start into today's video topic. One being, well, of course, this is an early video if you guys see this as soon as this goes live. Might have a second video going live later tonight, but I wanted to make sure that this got up at some point in time earlier in the day because it was, as of late last night, some pretty relevant news to the topic of discussion, so wanted to make sure it got up before it was a little too late here for this, but regardless, hopefully you guys are cool with an early upload and then potentially a second upload later tonight. But before I jump into it, once again, I wanna let you guys know that Infected and Redwood Snow should be live right now across the board. That's something that I was assuming they were going to release at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at 6 p.m. GMT, but it went live sometime over the night. I woke up to it and played probably about an hour or so of it. Really a lot of fun. The differences between this and standard Infected that you may know is you can pick your own class, you can end up using that class to your advantage, you get to use your specialist abilities, all that kind of cool stuff that is hand in hand with regular gameplay. But the also nice parts, and I guess kind of downsides too in one sense, is that one, it really helps your KD, two, it really helps your win rate, and three, if you guys still have contracts like me, I still have the Grand Slammed contract, which is 125 wins. This thing will breeze through it like nothing if you play this game mode. I played a game on Nuketown that, I'm not kidding you, from loading screen to final kill cam was 1 minute and 40 seconds. So you can breeze through this really easy if you have contracts still left over from whenever the game was your mainstay maybe, or whatever it may be. But the only downside is that it can hurt your score per minute if you care about that. But again, some people don't necessarily care too much about that. So literally no downsides at that point. But again, hop on, play this for yourselves. Redwood Snow, I have not found in the map rotation just yet, but I have seen some footage of it. I've seen screenshots that it's out there. And I think even on Xbox One, it is a featured playlist at that, but I play on PlayStation 4. But regardless, go check it out. Go have some fun on it if you guys have some time to spare. It is a lot of fun you guys will enjoy. But getting into the regularly scheduled content, let's talk about that big news that happened last night. So as of late last night, we ended up getting some information, maybe an actual first look at what might be the 2018 title developed by Treyarch coming later this year. So, as the story goes, Charlie Intel ended up actually getting a little bit of a tip from somebody that remains anonymous at this point in time, but it was a few pictures of the internal GameStop database, something that will showcase merchandise, what is on hand, the times in which they're supposed to be put out, all that kind of stuff that goes into those internal systems that these corporate businesses will have for merchandising. It's the standard system that you see everywhere in business. But the interesting part was that there appeared to be listings for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 merchandise. And that is the first time that we have seen that in any official capacity outside of, say, some speculation videos or anything like that. GameStop has their inventory listed for Black Ops 4 content. And since we're diving right into the listings here of this, well, you can also end up seeing one that says display Call of Duty World at War listed in that database as well. So why there'd be something in 2018 listing for World at War is, well, beyond me, except for maybe an idea that we'll talk about in a second. But let's break this down a little bit because it is something that I think deserves to be showcased, but we also have to be a little bit critical of because this is the earliest we will have ever seen anything, if this ends up being true, in terms of the ETA on leaks, announcements, and all that kind of stuff leading up to the next title out of the past decade or so that I can remember. That's something that we've never seen anything as early as March 5th at this point in time since it was released last night. So if that's the case, well, this is then game-changing. It can be a start of an incredibly long marketing period and something that really hypes people up for the November release of the next Treyarch title, but it also is something that is it too early? So taking a look at, once again, the listings here for this, we have things for t-shirts, lanyards, all sorts of different stuff with their listings and their prices, and then the ETA as to when they may end up releasing. I've had a couple of friends work at GameStop across the day, to which I asked for their feedback briefly, and they said in the text that I sent them that it did end up looking like the system and database they ended up using at the time that they were there, but I'm taking their word for that one. I haven't ever worked at a GameStop. I couldn't tell you if the database is anything similar to it out of my own first-hand experience, but from what I have tried to gather in terms of external research here for this, taking it a little bit deeper than just surface value, it seems to check out. And in the sense of timing, well, it's not something that is going to be released immediately. This isn't something that says, well, hey, we're getting promotional work and a reveal coming within the next week or so. The ETA on this says May 1st, which is something that really does fall in line in terms of previous years. If I'm not mistaken, May 1st has seen a many number of releases and major announcements and teasers for upcoming titles that coming year. And as well, early May houses the majority of reveals for COD titles and has done so for the past decade or so. So while while it might be strange to have something in a database this early on for Black Ops 4, it's not out of the realms of possibilities. If these are things in which it says the ETA to when it's supposed to be releasing, well, that would then coincide with the next time that we end up seeing potentially an official reveal. That would make sense in both the logistics and promotional marketing timeframes that we've seen in the past, so it's not out of the realms of possibilities. We do see that these corporations like GameStop do end up having to get these things way early on. Again, it's just kind of a surprise to me that it's this early. So I'm not trying to discredit this, but I'm just saying that it's kind of strange that it's this early. But then again, the big thing after that is also World at War, because that then stems the question of World at War Remastered, which I personally did not think that we'd end up getting, just because I thought there was a lot more to why we got Modern Warfare Remastered to begin with. That wasn't anything that really dealt with the 10-year anniversary. That was more so, from the rumors that I heard, something that dealt with sort of a way to make up for sales, because Infinite Warfare was either incomplete or it wasn't going to sell as well by itself. And based off the reception of just the reveal trailer alone, that wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility either. So that sort of thing I always thought was kind of tethered just as a more way to, in a business sense, make up for losses that may occur. But when you have something as hype as a Black Ops 4 that will sell off the name alone, you have Treyarch killing it the last few games and being the air quote savior that everybody says, to me, that's just kind of weird that we end up seeing a World at War as well, because it would not make up for any losses. It would instead catapult sales to a new level. And at that point in time, then I could see that, well, you know what? It is for that 10-year anniversary. 2008 is whenever World at War ended up launching, and so in 2018, 10 years later, wouldn't it be cool to revisit that on current generation hardware and in all the glory and the beauty of the current video game industry environment? Now, one thing that I only do hope is that they don't release at the same time, if they do in fact come. And again, that is a hard if, because right now we have one listing for it, which, while is completely insane in the sense of why something at World at War is being listed at a GameStop for merchandise, not a game, not a used game or anything like that, it's just simply merchandise. That's the weird part to me that might indicate that it's coming, but I do hope that if it does, it's not released at the same time. The one thing that I didn't really like about Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered was that it kind of broke up the player base. You had the original boots on the ground Call of Duty fans going back, playing that, and around, say, maybe the March to April timeframe, it wasn't anywhere near as populated as it was at launch, but at the same point in time, neither was Infinite Warfare. So it kind of tethered off and split off, and both communities sort of died out and fizzled out at their own paces, and for, of course, just fatigue. But whenever you have those two games instead of one, the player base just cuts down drastically, because around, say, that March to April timeframe on either game, the number of players online were undoubtedly way lower than at launch. So maybe, say, a summer release for World at War Remastered if that happens, and then a November release for Black Ops 4, I think that'd be something that'd be pretty cool. But that's just my own thoughts and opinions on it. Yours could be totally different, and that's totally cool. But as for this, well, that's essentially all that we have here out of this one specific news story, but it's a pretty big bombshell if you think about it, because it's the first time in any official capacity we've seen the title of Black Ops 4 used. This, of course, gives us no information on the setting, the weaponry, anything like that, but it does give us a little bit of an eye-opener to say, you know what, maybe we should keep our eyes open on this, and maybe this is a real thing that's going to be happening. Of course, as of today on Black Ops 3, it could be very pivotal. As of recording this, it's before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 6 p.m. GMT when things normally go live on Black Ops 3. So if new weapons do drop, maybe that's an indication for the time frame that we end up getting. If it's a modern era weapon drop, maybe it's a point to a modern era for the next title. That's something that is, of course, always thrown around in speculation, but until we see more, all we can do is really speculate. So that said, I want to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this? Because I think that, again, this is absolutely massive. The first time we've seen this in any official capacity from a corporation like GameStop, which does have these ties to the business world, that do have the ability to get these things early on. But again, it's just so early that it's kind of weird to me. So I'm not doubting it. Of course, it always is good to be skeptical, because in my books, if you can avoid getting your hopes up and then crushed, that's always a good thing. But this one, to me, I just have a good feeling for it. I don't know why, but maybe Black Ops 4 is confirmed. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is something that 100% points to Black Ops 4 being the next title? Do you think it's something that maybe it's an error on GameStop, it's a player placeholder, whatever it may be. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding Call of Duty Black Ops 4, if that is in fact the title, anything regarding Call of Duty World War II, and of course, just anything in general Call of Duty. If you guys are interested in any of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. And if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, I'm trying to get a little more active over there as well, so if you guys want to follow on that avenue, that link is as well in the description. But all that said and out of the way, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Black Ops 4, man, I'm getting pumped, slowly but surely. I'm hoping that we can make our way to it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys later. Mine has been Espresso. Take care, and peace.